Welcome back to the PI Planning Cooking Show. In this episode, we're going to continue our conversation about socialization.
Welcome to the PI Planning Cooking Show with Shane Harrison.
But we're going to start with the RTE. Oh, shock! Isn't socialization a product management issue? Well, it is when it comes to features, but remember that's not all we're talking about. In socialization, we're talking about all of the changes that we're going to make at the PI boundary, all of the changes that go live at the moment of PI planning. So there is many more people involved and not just product management. It's not just features. We're going to be changing all kinds of crazy things like art structures, team structures, all of those things. And so I want to start with the RT because it's the changes that they make that will actually impact the product manager's ability to structure their features and how they allocate them to team, or rather how teams allocate them to themselves, to be honest. So that's why we're starting with the RTE. When does prep for socialization start? Well, prep for socialization starts the moment the prep for the previous socialization finishes. Notice there's an important point here. Prep for socialization does not start when the last socialization finishes. It starts when the preparation for the last socialization finishes. Did someone mention relentless improvement? I'm sure I heard a whisper. Well, it was more like a roar, the roar of the Dean Leffingwell lion at any training you've ever been, for SAFe or Agile or anything like that. We talk about relentless improvement, we talk about continuous improvement all the time. So as an RTE, when does relentless improvement start? The moment you've started the work, started the drive that's going to implement any particular change, you're going to start working on the next one. So what do we got to look at as an RTE? Well, what are all the things you're responsible as an RTE? You're responsible for delivery management as a whole. So you're responsible for the ways of working. So if you want to implement a new way of working, when's the time to do it? The PI boundary. When's it going to be kicked off? During the PI boundary. So you need to actually prepare all the details for something like stop and fix. Who's involved? What's the impact? You need to do workshops with the teams and all of those sorts of things. You need to get that ready. What other things are changes? Roles are changing, and I don't just mean who's in what role. Jeremy swaps with Sarah and Sarah becomes the new Scrum Master over here or something like that. You actually may be changing the responsibilities of the role. And you could be changing the art structure. You could be splitting it to two teams, right? Splitting a team. Or you could be joining two teams together into one. You could also be looking at overall strategy. If you're looking at a solution, you're moving responsibilities from one art to another. So one art may be responsible for a certain channel, say the mobile channel, and we're going to move that to another art. Or we're going to change the way that the back-end systems are integrated, and we're moving that responsibility, we're consolidating that into a particular art. All of those things need to be looked at carefully before they're communicated. So that's a lot of preparation. So if your socialization starts at the middle of PI2, for example, or the middle of the PI, the preparation for that will have started at least time-wise about a PI ago. And that's again why I say the start of preparation for socialization is actually at the end of the preparation of the last socialization. So there'll be a period where you're implementing one piece of socialization while you're preparing for the next. One last thing that we always forget, and it's so important, it really impacts your team. Tools. We're talking about things like we're going to implement Sonar Cube, or we're going to implement Clockwork, or we're going to bring on a new test harness, for example, Test Left, or Selenium, or something like that. Implementing a new tool is not as easy as, oh, this is a good one, let's buy that one. In an art, you could have 120, 150 people. And of that 120, 150 people, there could be as many as 100 developers, all of them impacted by the fact that we're now going to use Sonar Cube, or they're now going to use Clockwork. You have to train all those people. And that is really important. They have to have enough time to understand what's going on. So when you're hitting socialization in the middle of the PI, one of the things you're probably also going to be communicating, well, I would normally communicate, is what is the calendar for the IP iteration. And in there you will have, for example, if you're going to implement Selenium for UI testing, you would have the training already scheduled in there for Selenium tool training for these teams is going to happen at this time. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe so you can see what comes up next, and click on the little bell, because that will give you a little warning next time you come onto YouTube and tell you when the next show is up, which will probably be a week from now, assuming you're watching them as we release them. But we have a small favor to ask for you. We're going to the Global SAFe Summit in San Diego in October. We need your help. We need to know, what would you like to know about SAFe, or implementing PI planning, or implementing Agile. We're going to be interviewing probably a dozen people with 10 more years experience of Agile, people with possibly 10 or more years experience with SAFe. So what do you want to know? What are the things that have been itching the back of your mind going, I wonder what that means, or why do we have to do that? So please, in the comments below, put those questions. We want to know those questions because we want to put these experts on the spot and get you the answers you want. Thanks for watching the PI Planning Cooking Show. Have a great day.
That's the PI Planning Cooking Show with Shane Harrison.